Assalamualaikum. Hi. Hello.
Assalamualaikum.
Everyone here? Everyone here? Okay, good. Technical team ready?
Ready.
Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. May we start now, yeah? Shall we start now, yeah?
Yeah,
Shall
sure.
we? Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Muhammad Fadil bin Mat Yassin, and I will be moderating this live conversation. This is Green Development team sessions, and the presenters are we have I think 8 presenters this afternoon. That is the first presenter will be Miss Mizan Aidila Ahmad Fuad. Are you here, Miss Mizan? We can't hear your voice.
Hello, hi. Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. And the second one, Miss Anis Atira. Miss Anis Atira, are you here? Miss Anis Atira not here? You're not presenting? Miss Anis Atira binti Aziz. You wasn't here, yeah? Okay. She wasn't here. The third one, maybe not yet arrived, okay? The third one, third presenter will be Miss Adlina Ismail. Miss Adlina Ismail, are you here? Oh, I can see you here. I can see your name here. Miss Adlina. Okay, never mind. Miss Adlina is here. The fourth presenter will be Mr. Kartigayan Vesuduvan. Mr. Kartigayan? Mr. Kartigayan? Not yet arrived. Okay. Not yet arrived. Fifth presenter will be Miss Nurul Atika binti Zulkarnain. Okay, good. I can see. Okay, I can see you waving, yeah? And sixth presenter will be Associate Professor Dr. Norazfani Ahmad. Dr. Azfani here. Not yet. Right, not yet arrived. Never mind. And the seventh presenter will be Dr. Suryana Ramli. Dr. Suryana? Dr. Suryana also not yet arrived. Never mind. Okay, and our last presenter today will be Miss Nur Hidayah Samsul Rijal. Hidayah? Miss Hidayah? Miss Hidayah wasn't here? Not yet arrived? Okay. Okay, never mind. The most important is the first presenter. But it is very, very important for me and for everyone here to understand a few things about the rules and regulations about this session. Yeah. So before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes. The first one, this session will be recording, yeah, for post conference viewing. The second one, if you have any questions, the participant, please please use the chat box features in the WebEx. Type your questions in the chat box for the presenters to answer. Never mind, I will read your question should the presenter is unable to view the chat box. Maybe they're busy with the slide, everything, yeah? If you have any technical questions, please reach out directly to me via the chat functions. This is the time management. For each presenters, you are allocated 20 minutes overall, in which 10 to 15 minutes for your slides presentations, and the remaining 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A. If one of our presenters completes their presentations before the time given, 20 minutes, there may be a time for questions from attendees. However, we will hold most questions until the end of the session. And I will then read questions out loud for the presenters to answer as time permits. Okay, fine. Now, please welcome our first presenter. Our first presenter, Miss Mizan Adila binti Ahmad Fuad from, I think you're from USM, from USM, with the topic of presentation will be the durability and impact of seawater on timber foam concrete as floating mechanisms. Without further ado, please welcome Miss Mizan Adila. Miss Mizan Adila, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
All right, okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. And my name is Mizan Adilia binti Ahmad Fuad from the School of Housing, Building and Planning from University Science Malaysia. So for today, I will be presenting my paper GM001 titled The Compressive Strength and Impact of Seawater on Formed Concrete with Untreated Timber Husk as Additive for a Floating Mechanism. So to start off, I start off with three issues that cover inside the paper, which is the global warming and the land scarcity that is said to be happening, thus causing sea rise level and the scenario in most cities with the scarce of the land for building development. So therefore, the initiative to creating a floating architecture shall be created to counter this issue. And it comes to when we come to the floating architecture, suitable material shall be chosen. And for this paper, lightweight concrete is chosen because it is very well known for its building material that is very diverse and universal. It has a very low density, suitable for the floating structure. But having said that, we come to the exposure of seawater. This material, however, are prone to corrosion where it will reduce the lifespan of the lightweight concrete and its properties. So for the research and objective, it is made to study on the timber husk as another element mix with formed concrete for the building material. So in this research, are made to first compare the density and the compressive strength of different percentage of timber husk incorporated inside the formed concrete, and after the concrete is submerged in water. So to further analyze, the paper started off with a literature studies which cover three sections, which is the formed concrete and its properties, the construction waste material as aggregate in formed concrete, and also the impact of the seawater towards the formed concrete. So for the lightweight formed concrete, it is ideally a concrete with air voids made from forming agent which hold a very low density and minimal uses of aggregate. So this material is better in perceiving the aggregation, considering that our construction industry is one of the primary users of the non-renewable resources, which is sand. And when it comes to lightweight formed concrete, the two properties that I want to highlight in the paper is the compressive strength and the density, which compressive strength is the quality of concrete that withstand the load and the pressure of the formed concrete itself. And the strength can vary for formed concrete between 1 to 25 megapascal. And for the density, the best concrete form to be able to float on seawater should have the lowest density, given that all reading below 1,000 kilogram per meter cubic shall be able to float in the seawater. So this is some of the literature we've made for the compressive strength and density of foam concrete. And the construction, moving to the construction waste material as aggregate in foam water, why I chose timber husk is because to create the foam concrete mixture, studies on the construction waste material is made to choose the best suitable waste as additive for the research paper. So despite several government policy measures aimed at addressing the problem, sustainable resources and waste management on the job site remain a low priority for majority of the contractors in our field. So from the literature studies made, I chose timber because it is, however, the highest waste in Malaysia for construction industry, and it's offer a very suitable material to be mixed with concrete due to its sustainability. So moving on to the last literature review I've made, which is the seawater impact towards the foam concrete, which shows that, however, when we expose materials, any materials in the seawater, so we will have to face the deterioration process, which caused by the complex biological attack process involving the movement of the ions of the concrete mixture and the chemical reaction from the sulfate ion towards the other ion from the seawater. So this, however, will affect the properties, the composite strength of the concrete after submerged in seawater. So it somehow affect the lifespan and the properties, the strength and everything from the concrete. So this is some of the research on the deterioration process from material, concrete, impact from the seawater itself. And coming towards the material and methodology. So in this paper, I use quantitative method where experimental and laboratory testing are used in the paper to analyze the result further. So experiment method is taken to test the timber form concrete and to analyze the impact of the timber husk additive on the form concrete properties itself. And the process of data analysis is involved 3 steps, which is the preparation of the materials, preparation of the concrete mixture, and also the laboratory experiment, where I will test on the density, the compressive strength, and also the compressive strength after each concrete is submerged in the seawater. So below are the parameters set for the experiment. So as you can see, for the manipulated variable, I have the percentage, different percentage of timber husk in the foam concrete mixture, which in this research paper, I use 0%, 5%, 10%, and 15% of untreated timber husk additive inside the foam concrete. And then for the fixed variable, I use this same dimension of the concrete block, which is the 100 cubic meter. It's 100 cubic, and the forming agent, which I use a protein forming agent for the concrete mixture, which is the norite PA1. So for the responding, I will be testing on the density and compressive strength of the timber concrete for different curing period, which is on the 7, 14, 28 days of curing period, and also after I submerge the concrete into the seawater. So to start off, the methodology, the preparation of material take place. So it is where I collected all the materials. And for this research paper, I take the untreated timber husk waste collected from a timber factory in Kedah. So in the experiment, I use coarse timber husk. And picture shows is how I segregate all the material, the fine sand, the concrete, the cement, and also the forming agent, the protein forming agent here is used. So coming next is the preparation of the timber form concrete mixture. So for this, I will afterwards come to the preparation of the mixture where 0, 5, 10% and also 15% of timber husk is used. So in the experiment involved testing concrete block of fixed size on the 7, 8, 14 and 28 days of the curing period, and after the curing period where it will be submerged in the seawater. So this is the tabulation of the dimension and the number of cubics I've made for the research paper. It comes out with a total of 72 blocks of foam concrete with different percentages of the timber husk additive inside the foam concrete itself for testing. So afterwards, the mixture is then designed, is used based on the ratio as mentioned, using cement, fine sand, and also water ratio. And the timber husk is also added afterwards with the foam concrete mixture according to the calculated ratio. And it is then incorporated inside the mixture as the protein-based foaming agent, where for this mixture, I will use a weight of foam agent is around 47 to 50% of the mortar density. So before that, I have to calculate the wet density and everything. So after I finish with the mixture, I will recalculate the wet density and will tabulate all the density of the wet density of the concrete form. And afterwards, each block are then let to dry overnight and wrap with cling wrappers to start the curing process itself. So after that, I will start. Sorry. So after that, the density when coming to testing the sample, each block will be subjected to 24 hours of oven drying and kept cool to reach the average temperature before the testing started. So moving on to the laboratory experimental. So for this research paper, as I mentioned earlier, I will take the density and the compressive strength of each sample to be taken. So after 3 weeks of submerging sample into seawater, sample will be tested also to check on the compressive strength. And the analysis of the surface of the concrete is then captured so that I can see if there is any cracking or any white disputes coming from the due to the process of the deterioration effect from the seawater towards the concrete form itself. So data is then compared afterwards. So we have come to the result and discussion. So the first one is the density, where the density of all samples shows a good reading, where because it can, the shows reading below 1,000 kilogram meter per cubic, that proving this material would be able to float in seawater. So the highest reading for the density was during the 28 days of curing period, which is here. And the lowest is during the 7 days of curing period. However, the density after submerging in seawater has increased. So this is the after submerging in seawater. And it's due to their properties itself, where foam concrete is very porous, and also the additive itself timber has where it can easily absorb in water. So this will somehow affect the density after putting it inside the seawater. So from here, this shows the situation when I put every material, every percentage inside the seawater. So all samples shows that they can float. But however, TH15, where I use 15 percentage of timber has the shortest ability to float in water. So this might be due to the over amount of timber as timber properties that we know readily absorb the water. Moving on to the second part, which is the compressive strength. So for the compressive strength, the highest compressive strength was produced during the 28 days of the curing period. And this is justified by the stable state of concrete properties, because 28 days is the 28 days of curing period is a stable state of the concrete properties. And this shows that compressive strength reading increases as the curing period increases, as you can see from the graph. So the best form concrete is when we use the 5% of the timber husk inside the foam concrete at the 28 days of the curing period, where the reading shows 2.27 megapascal. However, after submerged in seawater, the reading somehow reduces very rapidly. So this might be an option for a better additives to be used. So analyzing the impact of seawater towards the sample. Here are some of the pictures I took for the surfaces. So this can show the before and the after of before and after of the when I submerge the concrete into the seawater. So analysis of the surface of concrete are exposed to seawater is made, and it shows some differences due to the chemical attack. But based on my analysis, TH15, where I use 15% of the timber husk inside the foam, shows a very obvious result and reaction towards seawater. And TH5 and TH10, where I use 5% and 10% of timber husk, show fairly at least a little cracking and white dispute on the seawater. But however, TH15 shows a very large amount of white disputes around the space. So the impact of seawater towards the sample, what I can say is from the experiment, TH5 shows the best ability and compressive strength after submerged in seawater, even though it still decreases, but somehow it still managed to produce the best reading for the compressive strength, despite it get lower down. And so as the conclusion, what I can say from the research paper is research showed the ability to create foam concrete with timber husk as a reliable material as additive. But having said that, there is an ideal amount or optimum amount of the timber husk to be added inside the mixture itself. So from the research paper, I could say that 5% of timber husk, untreated timber husk, is the ideal amount for the concrete form mixture. And this proved, however, that timber husk aggregation for form concrete is better than the standard form concrete because it produces better strength. And at the same time, it can produce almost the same amount of density, which is be able to float into the seawater. And beside that, it shows that the timber concrete is able to float is able to be used as a floating mechanism in the architecture. So the impact of seawater exposure, however, is a major concern for now. So it needed a further analysis and a longer timeline for the experiment to take place in order to enhance the material and the additive as for the form concrete as the floating architecture. So I think that's that. That is the data tabulation I've made based on the previous one, if you could see the graph. And this is my references. So I think that's for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Mizan, Adila, Ahmad Fuad.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good presentation. I think very insightful knowledge and explanation about the timber timber husk as an aggregates in concrete floating materials. For I think this is very useful for shorelines constructions.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. I think I expect many questions from the floor.
I hope
Okay,
I got
we
less.
still have time. Any questions? Any questions? You can type here. Okay, from Dr. Izzat, I think. May I know what is the foam flow rates for the foam generator?
Come again?
From Dr. Izzat, I think. May I know what is the foam flow rate?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the specification for that, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind, never mind. Any other questions? Anyway, what's the foaming agent that you use for?
For the forming agent, I use the protein-based forming agent. So I took the norite P. Yeah, this one. It's a norite PA1. So this is basically what I get from my school. So this is the protein, the protein-based forming agent.
Okay, maybe I missed somewhere around. But what's the difference between your samples in terms of the density of the timber husk? Is
The
it
density.
different different type of timber or
So
how?
basically, it use same material for the timber husk, untreated timber husk. The difference is the percentage of how I put the timber husk inside the form concrete. So, given the example for A, I give 5% of timber husk inside the form concrete, and then the B is I give 5%, 10%, and then
Okay.
15%. And I also made the standardized one where I use 0%. So to see the conventional form concrete. So to see the differences to compare.
Okay, very good, very interesting. I didn't see any more questions from the floor. Once again, thank you very much, Ms. Adila. I think we reserve for the organizer asking for photo sessions, but
Oh.
I don't think that we have a complete numbers of presenter here. Maybe someone not yet around. So we save for later.
Later.
Okay.
Okay.
I give until maybe after third presenters like that.
Sure.
Please,
All right.
Dr. Rashida. Okay, never mind. We go to the next paper, next presenter. From UiTM Perak as well, with the title Mechanical Properties of Bamboo Fiber Biocomposite, a review. Now, over to you, Miss Anis Atira Abdul Aziz.
Okay, thank you. Can you see my slide?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, good. Okay. 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 Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Ani Atira Aziz. So today I would like to present a review about mechanical properties of bamboo fiber biocomposite. So first, we go through for the research backgrounds. So the first one is environmental concerns, which is the necessity for the sustainability and intensification replacing synthetic fiber with natural fiber. Pricing cost, which is rising cost of raw material for engineering and standard plastics, and property of natural fiber, which are low density, mechanical robustness, inexpensive, durability, sustainability, and biodegradability. Sorry. So for the aim of the review is to summarize the research done on bamboo fiber biocomposite during previous few decades, and for the significance of research will be serve as a guide for future reference on bamboo fiber reinforced composite and promote their utilization. And for the methodology, a critical review of the developments in bamboo fiber biocomposite and the key result presented in the literature. So for the development of biocomposite materials, so green or biocomposite is made of bio-derived resin with natural fiber. So bio-derived resin can be categorized as two, which is petroleum derived, which non-biodegradable polymer reinforced, and biopolymer reinforced. So for the natural fibers, for the example, cotton, bamboo, jute, flax, oil palm, which have several attractive quality. We can say that it has low cost, low density, low energy requirement, ample supply, renewability, high strength, and elastic modulus. So for the bamboo species in Malaysia, because I focus for the bamboo, so we have 67 total bamboo species in Malaysia, 25 endangered species, 13 commercially used, and 25 exotic species. So there are several bamboo species distribution in Malaysia, such as buluh minyak, buluh semiliam, buluh beti, buluh dinding, and buluh semantan. So bamboo also have several attractive qualities such as affordable, plentiful, sustainable resource, economical, strength, environmentally friendly compared to by most plants. So these are the classification of bamboo fiber biocomposite. We can divided into several elements such as strip, thread, flake, and fiber. So sample of bamboo biocomposite product, we could see that we have bamboo mat board, play bamboo, glue laminated board, bamboo oriented thread board, and so on. So there are several factors influence the mechanical property of bamboo fibers, such as moisture content, we know that moisture can cause damage to the fiber metric interface, resulting in inefficient stress transfer from the metric to the reinforcement. Degree of cure, which is bamboo possess the natural honeycomb fiber reinforced composite materials. Extraction of bamboo fiber, which is bamboo fiber can be removed mechanically, chemically, or combination of the two methods. Orientation and fiber length, which is the orientation of fiber could affect the mechanical properties. And bamboo fiber metric adhesion, which is there are a few methods can be improved mechanical property of bamboo fiber reinforced, especially the interface between the fiber and the matrix. So now we go through for the moisture content of the bamboo fiber, which is we know that moisture content can alter the property of bamboo of the polymer matrix and the natural fiber itself. So process of degradation will cause swelling of the cellulose fiber, which create stress at the interface and lead to the formation of micro cracking in the fiber. Around the in the matrix around the swell fiber, which is will cause the unbonded between the fiber and the matrix. So for the degree of cure, so the excessive fiber content in the composite material degrade the mechanical characteristic of the composite due to lack of adequate bonding between the matrix and the fiber interface. So for the greater composition of fiber, will have a low impact and fluctuating strength of value. But by increasing the treated content of the fiber in composite material will enhance the impact, tensile strength, and the flexure strength. Also by alkaline treatments will be a very successful and inexpensive procedure by involving immersing the bamboo fiber in concentration, specific concentration, which are such as sodium hydroxide for certain duration and temperature. And it also proven that by treated the bamboo fiber with alkaline will also improve the tensile strength due to the better interface shear strength. So for the extraction of bamboo fiber, so it's proven that steam explosion is the best method of extraction for creating high strength of bamboo fiber. While for the retention and the fiber length, when the bamboo fiber length is constant, the tensile strength and Young modulus of bamboo fiber composite will increase when the bamboo diameter decrease. So these are for the bamboo fiber metric adhesion. So we can see that in 2016, there are thermosetting metric, which is it produces high strength and stiffness value. For bamboo fiber reinforced epoxy, which is I just mentioned earlier, that when the bamboo fiber is treated in alkali, it has a smooth fracture surface, which resulted better mechanical properties. Bamboo reinforced polyethylene, so it showed that it reached the highest strengths. And bamboo reinforced composite epoxy polyester vanillin ester, it resulted in stronger adhesive behavior, which improved in resist to fatigue and micro cracking. So for the conclusion of the review, so it showed that bamboo fiber biocomposite are the potential candidate for replacing synthetic fiber, as it possesses the excellent properties such as low density, low cost, high impact resistant, high flexibility, low specific gravity, and biodegradability, biocompatibility, and renewability. But if the improper selection of bamboo species would affect the manufacturing process, treatment technique, and durability. This is because bamboo fiber has poor wettability and lower moisture content resistance, but it can fix with the chemical treatments. So the amount of cellulose and hemicellulose has a significant impact also on the mechanical characteristic, and also the diameter, length of fiber, fiber content, manufacturing method are also the elements that influence the mechanical property of composites. So it's proven also bamboo fiber can be used for the advanced and design product creation, which is it can be alternate technique to manufacture biocomposite that can be utilized for household furnishing, construction, fencing, decking, flooring, and lightweight automatic component or sports equipments. Thank you. That's all for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Miss Ani Satira Abdul Aziz, with a very insightful and interesting paper. Um, for the audience or the participants, I would like to highlight again here. Yeah, you are given 20 minutes with 15 minutes for your presentations and the rest 5 minutes, between 5 to 10 minutes for your question and answer. So you may make use of the time. Okay, so welcome to the Green Development and Safe Team sessions, and we have a few sub teams here. We have actually 3 sub teams here. That is green materials, green buildings district, and renewable energy. So 2 presenters have been presented the paper. So now it's time for the third presenters to present her paper with the title of strategic set. No, sorry, I'm sorry. Now we are open for question and answer. Sorry, we open for question and answer. Any questions for Miss Anisatira? Any questions? Hi, hello, anyone here? Any questions? If no questions, okay, never mind. Anis,
Yeah.
okay, from the 67 species, 67 species, you did mention that from the 67 species there are different properties of the bamboo fiber, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, there might be different strength, different. You said once the diameter of the bamboo is reduced, the
Yes.
strength is I'm not very sure about that. What is the best materials for the best species for from the bamboo that can be used in construction?
Oh, okay. So as for myself, I did
The suitable for construction, I mean.
yes. Okay. So for the bamboo species that are suitable for the construction, as previous, I did myself a research on the buluh semantan, for the bamboo fiber itself. So I found that the result is it possess the highest strength for the compression, for the tensile strength. So it's showing that buluh semantan is one of the best bamboo species that can be used in constructions. Actually, buluh semantan. Um, um, I'm sorry, I cannot hear.
Sorry. Okay, besides the use of the bamboo as a blocks, as the planks, as the finishings for walls, everything. What else can be done for building? For example, maybe the fabrics
Yeah,
for insulations,
it
fiber.
can be used. I did a review also on the they were used bamboo with for the insulation in China. So yeah, bamboo is such a versatility materials that can be used in various field. So yeah, they did for the bamboo for the insulation in China. Also, they did also for the concrete with the bamboo fiber itself. So it was proven that it possessed high tensile strength for the products itself.
Okay, no further questions from me. I think,
Okay.
and from the floor, any, you want to add anything? If no, thank you very much, Miss Anis.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for your presentations. Now we go to the third presenters with a paper entitled Strategies to Enlarge the Green Building Material, GBM, for Construction Works, Gathering the Low-Hanging Fruits. Please welcome Miss Noor Adlina Ismail from UITM Perak.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to our moderator, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Fazli Yassin, and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Noor Adlina from UITM Perak. Okay, as you can see on the screen, our topic for today is strategies to enlarge the market availability of green building materials for construction work, gathering the low-hanging fruits. Okay. This is the outline for the presentation, for my presentation today. Okay. Okay, for the introduction and background of the research, Green Building Index, GBI, is known as the first green building rating tools that recognized in Malaysia. Among the criteria addressed in GBI, focusing on utilization of green products and green material for building construction are the easiest way to make a building green, which is GBM, and is addressed as one of the strategic initiative and best practice requirement by the construction stakeholders in implementing green building projects. And application of GBM also give many advantages such as increased building quality performance and prevent health problem. Then we move to the problem statement. Okay, Yi et al. Has stated that despite of its advantages and the implementation of GBM, the implementation of GBM still low since it has been introduced in 2009. The major issue come from the financial aspects. Construction stakeholder always concerned about the financial aspect as implementing GBM requires a very high initial cost. And other than that, the listed product in Green Product Scoring System, GPSS, by Public Works Department, JKR, are not mainly focused on local product, which means the listed green products are also sourced from global eco-labeling network countries such as Australia, Brazil, China, Germany, India, and Indonesia. Then the third issue could be that the listed eco-label products registered in My Hijau directory are still lacking in the category of construction materials, which is, in the other word, there are not much of green building material for much choices of green building materials for construction listed in My Hijau directory, and it become a challenge for construction stakeholders to enhance the utilization of the green material in construction. And the next issue is the government are unaware of the environmental problems and value of green practice, and construction industry will not concern itself with the crisis. With the government interference coming up with the strict legislation and encouragement, the implementation of GBM in construction project would still be low. Okay, the last one is the development of GBM in construction industry affected by the low level of knowledge in this field. Even from the top level management until on-site staff, they still lack of knowledge and experience about this green initiative, and all these things will result in low level of implementation in GBM. Okay, then we're going to look into the overview of green building materials, which is Green building materials are defined as that material that use cleaner manufacturing method, technological and science use, minimal or no exploitation of natural resources, heavy waste use, and pollution-free radioactive and recyclable material, which is, in short, we can conclude that the concept of GBM concentrate on the manufacturing process, technology, environment, and the possibility of recycling, and finally, health benefit. Okay, the type of GBM over the years, there are many types of GBM were introduced and developed extensively for construction as innovation and sustainable initiative. These are the type of GBM that widely being used in construction projects. As we can see on the screen, the type of GBM is classified into its category and function in the building. Okay, this table listed the previous researchers that study about the type of GBM. Okay, then this GBM could be promoted in various ways in order to enlarge its market in construction sector. Those are 8 ways to promote GBM according to previous literature, which is the first one is financial and market-based incentive. Second, public awareness and availability of information. Third is enforce government policies. Fourth is low risk affordable loans. The next one is green logo certification system, green procurement adoption, price competitive market, and the last one is new analysis tool for alternative materials. Okay, this is the list of previous researchers that study on this area. Okay. For the methodology, this study adopts quantitative method where questionnaire is used as survey instrument. The questionnaire is distributed to 160 respondents using a purposive sampling method. As the study is narrowed down to the expert who have experience in handling green projects, hence the targeted population is drawn to 160 respondents comprised of construction enablers and practitioners involved in 25 green projects. The list of 160 respondents were drawn with the help from implementing agency or enablers in the green government projects such as Public Work Department, JKR, Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, and Malaysia Green Technology Centre, MGTC. And the online survey has received 95 responses from targeted population where the response rate is 59%. Okay, then we move on to the analysis of survey result, which is comprised of demographic background, the low-hanging fruit strategies in enlarging the market of GBM in Malaysia, and the last part is the discussion of the result. Okay. The first part of the analysis of survey result is demographic result of all respondents based on descriptive statistics. Okay, in the term of designation, we can see that majority or with 31.6% respondent are engineers, which indicate that the most green projects are dominated by the engineers. In terms of year working experience, the most significant numbers of response come from group with working experience between 11 to 15 years of experience. Okay, the second part is the key catalyst or low-hanging fruit strategies in enlarging the market of green building materials in Malaysia or Malaysia construction sector. Okay, the result in the table show that the mean score is ranged between 4.54, it's the highest mean score, which to the 4.39, the lowest mean score for the result, and it depicts that the respondent agreement level on the strategies are rated as agreed to strongly agreed by respondent. And the highest mean score is the adoption of green procurement for green product and services, which accepted as the strategy that majorly agreed by the respondent. And it followed by enforcement of green building material through government policies and regulation, and raise public awareness about GBM with sufficient information, with position at second item and the third item respectively. Okay, the lowest mean score perceived in this survey is regulate low risk and affordable financial loan for GBM adopters that place this strategy in the lowest rank. Okay, then the discussion of the result is I will explain to you what is a key catalyst. Low-hanging fruit or key catalyst strategies are described as the ways or strategy that can immediately achieve or less difficult to achieve towards specific goals and objectives. Those are the key catalysts or low-hanging fruit that rank by their priority strategy to enlarge the market of GBM in Malaysia construction sector according to the result of the study, which is we have put the rank into one into the most priority to the last one. Okay. Then for the conclusion is the findings conclude that the adoption of GBM into the construction industry can serve as a valuable input for incorporating sustainable design concept into buildings. Among the established green building criteria, concentrating on material reflect as a simple method to convert conventional building to low carbon building or popularly known as a green building. Okay, the research finding provide a valuable reference to assist the enablers, practitioners and policymakers in developing practical strategies and enlarging the market availability of GBM adoption in construction works. However, the implementation toward enlarging GBM to construction sectors might address challenges and impact from the different aspects. Hence, the future research will investigate the tangible and intangible criteria among the strategies and their impact on the GBM adoption process. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Wow, wonderful. Very good presentation. But I think this is still in early and exploratory stage. Yeah.
Pardon?
This is a still early and exploratory stage of research.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting. But okay, I open for the rest. Any questions you want to ask? Miss No Adlina, anyone? Please, one or two questions. We still have ample time. Okay, by the time we're waiting for the questions, Miss No Adlina.
Yes.
Okay. I see one of the your variables indicating that how you going next one before this previous slides. Okay, no, next next
This one.
yes, yes, just now. Previous slide, previous one.
Previous.
Previous slide. Oh no. Yes. Okay, stop. Okay.
Okay.
Provide financial and market-based incentive for GBM adopters. This is part of the what the incentive, the incentive or what do you call? How to promote the productions of GBM. To promote the adoptions of green materials among the developers. Okay. By having or by giving certain financial incentive and so on. By having the incentive, you think is it acceptable or is it viable in terms of financial providers in Malaysia, bankers?
Oh. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
Okay, Assalamualaikum, Dr.
Ah.
Okay, actually this is my research. Maybe I can help Adina to answer it because actually Adina is my research assistant. She is currently doing the similar like study. Maybe I can try to help on the variables on the first part when you ask about providing financial and market-based incentive for GBM adopters. Okay, basically the government has already implemented this incentive, what we call as Gita Gite. If you aware about it, you can, if you want to know more about Gita Gite incentive, you can try to access website of MGTC or also CASA. Unfortunately, it is much more relatable to those who involved with the private projects, not for public project, because we know that for public projects, the fund comes from Ministry of Finance, and therefore the incentives are not goes to, it doesn't goes to the contractors who perform or construct public green projects. But what we can see from this GITA incentive is that these contractors, they can have sort of like deductions on their levy by having green construction materials, adoptions of green construction materials in their project. If the project is a design and build procurement basis, not procurement that conventional type, which means that the contractor is appointed later during the tendering stage. If the contractor is appointed from the beginning, they are responsible to design and also to prepare the procurement and tendering contract and so on. Therefore, this GITA incentive is applicable to them. So we believe that this variable could be extended to all procurers, not only because what has been implemented right now is for private projects only. So why not those who involved with the public construction projects can have such this initiative, and from this kind of financial incentive, we can attract much more manufacturers and also suppliers to have much more GBM market availability in Malaysia. Because ideally, the main challenges is when we're talking about green building materials for construction is basically the higher initial cost. So, so if we have some sort of incentive or also financial provisions from those who involved with the construction, that would be much. I would believe that this would be attract many more potential to have the availabilities of green building materials in Malaysia. Right? I hope it answers the questions. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tasha, on that explanation.
Yes.
I think no other questions from the audience.
Thank you, Dr.
If you have any, never mind. You just type your questions here in the chat box, and then I will read it loud later. No more questions? No more questions? Okay, fine, no problem. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Tasha, and thank you very much, Adlina, for your great presentation. Okay, shall we break for photo? Okay, everyone, please turn on your video, please. Your video for photo session. Mr. Aiman. Okay.
On my cue, Okay, 1, 2,
No,
3.
Miss Nazida and Miss Adlina not yet here.
Okay.
Miss Adlina, please on your camera.
Adelina, okay dah. Nazida. Yes.
Nazida, please.
Okay, on my cue. 1, 2, 3. Okay, wait a minute. Another one. One more. Freestyle, okay? On my cue. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we have done for our third presenters. Now we go to the next presenters also from USM. With a presentation title is The Study on Thermal Performance and Daylighting of Transparent Concrete. Very interesting. The floor is yours, Mr. Karthikeyan Vesuduvan.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, very clear, very clear.
Okay, a very good afternoon and good day to everyone. So my name is Karthikeyan Vasudevan and my supervisor, Dr. Hazril Sheni Bashir. And my research topic is the study on the thermal performance and daylighting of transparent concrete. So these are the list of table content that I would like to present today. And for the introduction, um, what mean by transparent concrete? So transparent concrete, also known as light transmission concrete or translucent concrete, is a concrete that able to transmit light through the material called optical fiber. So what's the difference between conventional concrete and transparent concrete? So for the conventional concrete, it's made of aggregates, sand, cement, and water. So however, for the transparent concrete, we use very fine sand, cement, water, and additional of optical fiber. So the transparent concrete also it has the ability to transmit light and has a better thermal resistance, good architectural properties, green building material, energy saving, and during daytime it allows daylight into the space, and at night the artificial in the space transmit the light towards the exterior of the space. So for the problem statement, there is two issues that I would like to highlight here, which is the first one is the high usage of energy in building. So based on International Energy Agency, the construction industry uses almost 40% of all energy generated worldwide. And building energy usage accounts for 20 to 40% of overall energy consumption in industrialized nations. And third is the high usage of artificial lighting. And second issue is overheating in the building. So like Malaysia is a tropical countries that facing a lot of issues because of the sun and the incident solar radiation on the building. And as we can see, the buildings nowadays, they are using glass as a building facade, and the facade they have made because of the aesthetic value and to design a to have a modern design. So for the aim and objective of my study is to focus on the effectiveness of transparent concrete towards improving the daylighting and thermal performance in a building through experimental study. So the main objective of this study are to investigate the potential of transparent concrete on accumulating daylighting in a building and to optimize the transparent concrete on thermal performance of a building. So the table below shows the literature studies, which shows the effectiveness of transparent concrete on daylighting and thermal performance presented through the latest research papers. And the papers below are selected based on Asian countries and the countries with a similar climate with Malaysia. So for the material and method, so this research employs a quantitative method by experimental study of physical models for the numerical result on daylighting and thermal performance. So there are 4 phases of process in this experiment, and the parameter set for the experiment, which is the fixed variable, will be the ratio of the concrete mixture, size and thickness of the concrete block. And the manipulated variables will be the ratio of polymetal methacrylate, which is PMMA fiber optic, and the responding variables is the temperature and the light illuminance. So below the image shows the 6 mm fiberglass chop strength and the 1 meter polymetal methacrylate, which is PMMA fiber optic cable, were used in the research. So for the phase 1, the mold production process. So the mold production process made with the transparent, made with using a 3-meter acrylic sheet. It is because my school doesn't have that mold that can produce a transparent concrete. So I need to create my own mold to produce the transparent concrete. So initially, I need to prepare the sizing and dimension using the AutoCAD software. And And the number and the distance between holes differ, which helps to determine the degree of light transmission and thermal resistance. And then the mole, which is created in AutoCAD, carefully cut using a laser cutter machine, and the PMMA fiber optic were arranged according to the holes in the mold as shown in the picture below. So the second phase is the mixture and the transparent concrete production process. So for this experiment, coarse aggregates were excluded, as I mentioned earlier for the in the introduction. It is because to avoid fiber bailing issues caused by the narrow gap between the transparent materials during pouring of high fluidity concrete in the block. So for the concrete, the cement was used with Sika Grot 215, and it continuously mixed with the water and the fiberglass chopped strains until the consistency obtained. And it was a mixture for 3 minutes. And after the final concrete produced, the transparent concrete um, concrete was um, the transparent concrete will continue with the process of curing for at least 48 hours and proceed to 28 days of curing in the water and perform with grinding to remove the molds. So these are the mixed proportion, which is basically there are three number of samples, which is all the materials are similar, except the PMMA fiber optic, the number of the fiber optic. So for the sample A will be the conventional concrete, sample B will be the there has a 290 number of fiber optic, and the sample C has 560 fiber optic. So the picture shows the concrete during the curing process and after curing process. So for the phase 3, the light transmittance test. So the light transmittance test was measured to see the amount of light passing through the transparent concrete. And the equipment used was portable lux meter to measure the illuminance of the transparent concrete. And the test was measured by using a lux meter, kilo lux, and the result converted into lux. And a box made up using mounting board to prevent light escape while carrying out the test. So the picture below shows the equipment and how the test was measured. For phase 4, the thermal test, of the concrete sample measure the surface temperature in Celsius using infrared thermal imaging camera. So based on previous studies, the study shows hottest hour of the day occurs between 3 to 5 p.m., which is 3 to 5 hours after noon. But however, the local weather at that particular time of the experiment shows 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. has the highest outdoor temperature on 3 days of experiment. So all the tests were recorded at the range from 12:40 p.m. to 2 p.m. with the interval of 15 minutes with total of 30 minutes by placing transparent concrete under the sun. So for the result and discussion, first will be the effect of daylighting on transparent concrete. So the table below shows the transparent concrete with a higher number fiber optic delivers the higher light illuminance. Even the local weather differs on 3 days. And it also shows using more fiber optic in the concrete allow more daylighting. So these are the results for 3 days of experiment. And second will be the effect of solar radiation on thermal conductivity of transparent concrete. So the thermal image displays the level of heat transferred to the concrete sample. So as we can see the table below, there is an image which the blue color indicates the coolest area and gradually increase to green, yellow and red, which indicates the highest temperature at the concrete. So the result shows the conventional concrete shows the highest average temperature at 0 minutes and 15 minutes and 30 minutes compared to transparent concrete with 290 optical fiber and 560 optical fiber. So the maximum temperature drop for day 1 is 1.44 Celsius, day 2 is 0.67 Celsius, and day 3 is 0.87 Celsius. And the total average temperature difference is 0.989 Celsius. So next, the effect of solar radiation on the thermal. Okay, sorry, continue with that. It also shows the higher usage of fiber optic has result less thermal conductivity, and the temperature highest temperature drops on day 1 with high surface temperature indicates that um, the more effectiveness of the fiber optic, and the plastic fiber optic shows the greatest effect on the thermal resistance compared to the conventional concrete. And lastly is the visual effect of the transparent concrete. So the image, the figure shows that the light transmittance is clearly identified on the transparent concrete, and the surface area of the whole concrete increases as the diameter of the PMMA fiber optic increases, and the light transmission increases as well. And the visual shadow effect on the object will differ according to the brightness of the light source. So the figure shows different kind of light source, which is using sun natural lighting and then the artificial lighting. And for the conclusion, the transparent concrete has a distinct light transmittance property, and it can maximize the daylight usage during the daytime. And at night, the transparent concrete can be visually attractive and welcoming for the buildings, furnitures, and hardscapes. And therefore, the plastic fiber optic shows the greatest effect on the thermal resistance compared to the conventional concrete. And it shows the improvement in light transmittance after the percentage and the number of fiber optical usage increases. So the main contribution of this experiment shows that the higher usage of PMMA fiber optic allow more daylighting and lower the thermal conductivity and heat gain to a space or building. And it also changes the perception of when we receive more light, the more heat conductivity. And the study also can highlight, it also highlight the solution on the thermal comfort and high energy usage issues. And it delivers the potential of transparent concrete to increase the energy efficiency of a building. And therefore, there is limitation of data for the duration to measure the thermal heat loss because of the local weather conditions, which can influence the temperature of the concrete. And further studies can explore the study of the transparent concrete on thermal heat loss in longer duration, which include day and night temperature readings. So these are the list of references, and that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Karthikeyan. This is actually very interesting and new to me as well. I never came across, never I never came across with this product or this material as a is new to me. Thank you very much. My bad. Okay. Any questions from floor? Any questions? Since it's new to me, Mr. Katigayan.
Yeah.
Okay, since it's new to me, I think this is a very, very good product in both what you said in terms of what thermal transfer, in terms of what another one?
Light
Again?
transmission.
Sorry?
Light transmission,
Light
which can use
transmission.
for daylighting. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it is, either it is translucent or transparent, whatever. But as for me, a layman, I see this product is aesthetically is very excellent, beautiful. But getting to know the polymetal methacrylates is super duper expensive for doing the what do you call the blocks like this. Normally used metal methacrylates is normally used for industrial flooring. Very beautiful and very durable, long lasting. But yet this is very expensive, very expensive. I don't know, is it viable for buildings, or maybe never mind, maybe the expensive buildings or what special building can use this product. What say you?
Actually, it's just true. It's a novel material, which actually they don't have manufacturer in Malaysia itself. The nearest manufacturer is in Singapore, which they also start using for the furnitures, which they use the artificial lighting. So for Malaysia, they haven't start to produce this material, maybe because of the cost. But for, if you ask me, like the cost of this material overall, I think it's not so expensive because the plastic fiber optic is actually cheap, because actually they can use plastic fiber optic or glass fiber optic. So the glass fiber optic actually is expensive, and the plastic fiber optic is cheaper than glass one. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. For the rest, yeah, for the audience, if you have any questions and you don't want to ask over here, you maybe can send your questions or contact the presenters after these sessions. Okay, should be no problem. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Karthikeyan Vasudevan, for very interesting and very wonderful presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Okay. For the next presenters, she's from UiTM Shah Alam, and the paper entitled "The Applications of Energy Efficient Strategies in Landed Residences of Malacca City Outskirts." Please welcome Miss Nurul Atikah binti Zulkarnain.
Okay.
Over to you, Miss Nurul Atikah.
I can see it. So, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to everyone. My name is Nur Atikan Zulkarnain. So, today I will present the application of energy efficient strategy in landed residences of Malacca City Outskirts. So, for the introduction, so one of the most crucial environmental impact is population dynamic. Is it because population growth and changing lifestyle has increased demand for
energy supplies, resulting in issues such as growing conflicts among energy consumers. So according to Coroner, April 2022, the application of solar panel in city residential areas has seen a massive increase in demands because of the high level of awareness. So integrating the renewable energy generation in suburban region help to meet power demand while lowering the carbon emission. However, due to the high initial costs, implementing energy efficient practice and appliance as a renewable energies approach is more common in urban areas than in suburban areas. And then because of this, this call for the investigation of the level awareness of suburban residents and the implementation of renewable energy resources. Okay, for the aim and the object. The aim is to establish the need to use energy efficient and renewable energy in monitoring the carbon footprint caused by the urban sprawl. And then the fourth objective, to investigate the level awareness of Malacca City suburban residents on renewable energy and energy consumption, to examine how the suburban residents are practicing the energy efficient measure, and then lastly to establish how energy efficient practice and renewable energy system can reduce energy consumption in landed residential buildings. So for the research review, the first is renewable energy system in Malaysia. As we know, Malaysia has initiated hydropower project as seen by the principle of 12 mega dam in Borneo state under the Sarawak corridor of renewable energy. For example, the Bakung Dam. And then, according to the Hamzah Act 2019, mini hydro, biogas, solar photovoltaic PV, solid waste, and biomass are among the renewable energy resources available in the Malaysia for generating electricity. So, in 2020, the entire energy output from these resources was able to generate 11,227 gigawatt hour claimed to ascend as to 2021. So solar PV was made a significant contribution to all these resources in Malaysia. Okay, next is the energy efficient strategy in Malaysia. According to SHIM, at 2021, solar energy offers the greatest potential of any renewable energy sources in Malaysia because of the ideal geographical location in the tropical zone. And the Malaysian government implement various solar power promotion programs and the strategies in response to the high initial adoption cost. And then this project allow solar PV owner to profit from the sale of generated electricity to the Tenaga Nasional Berhad (TNB). And then Mohit Bumba 2021 state that the installing solar panel system is one of the most practical renewable energy option in residential regions. Although the initial pricey due to installation cost, the investment in is the reasonable in the long term and result in zero emission. And then for the next is for solar panel system in Malaysia landed season. So from the Al-Asadi studies in 2022, renewable energy in residential building is the key to excellent environmental sustainability. It's reduced to need to burn coal and the other non-renewable resources to generate electricity. So PV module on building rooftop provide shading against harsh sunlight, thus reducing the temperature input to the ceiling and the building. And then Razali et al. 2020 state that residential customer who install PV solar panel at the home could earn money by selling excess power generated by solar sources to the local electricity provider, such TNB and Sabah Electricity Sedan Berhad, SESB. So according to the Zain Ahmed et al. 2021, the government will execute this project from 2021 to 2023 as a part of the net net energy metering and EM scheme 3.0 with a total quarter allocation of 800 megawatt to boost solar energy harvesting and increase the renewable energy uptake. Okay, next for the methodology. So basically, the questionnaire survey is used in this study, which is include a variety of the question style that allow for an understanding of the use of energy efficient technique and renewable energy system illustration structure. And then like the three residential building in Taman Angsa Mas and Taman Kasawari were chosen for their location in Melaka suburban to collect building temperature data and investigate the renewable energy system. And then to determine the difference between the 2 days, the study was conducted 1 day during the week and 1 day during the weekend. So next I will present the finding and the discussion. Okay, this questionnaire survey was divided into 3 sections, which is respondent background, basic knowledge and level awareness, and application of the energy efficient strategies in respective resident buildings. Okay, for the respondent background, 60.7% of the total respondents were female and other 33.3% were males. And for the age is 46.7% of respondents were below the 24 years old. And then like the minimum is 16.7% was above 15. And then meanwhile for the number of household, we can see like is mostly is 50% of respondents have the 5 member in household, and 70% of the respondent have 6 members, and 60% of respondent has 7 members, and the remaining is 6% respondent have 3 and 8 members. And then for the income group, we can see B40 is 23%, and then the majority of them is N40, which is 50%. So the basic knowledge, following section is basic knowledge and level of awareness. So these figures show the level of understanding of RE of Malacca residents, as demonstrated by the majority respondent, 33.3% having hard knowledge, and then like 20.3% respondent having fair and excellent performance, while the remaining is 20% is have poor understanding. Okay. For the next slide is we can see like for the figure on the left, it shows the respondent understanding of renewable energy. The mean recorded for solar energy is 0.90, was the highest of any power, implying the most respondents are exposed to this RE. And then like the lowest is the full standard or observed in is 0.23. So like indicating that some respondents misidentified the renewable energy. For the figure on the right, show the respondent awareness of electricity usage and bill. So we can see only 3.3% of respondents were uninformed of their usage and bills, whereas the 96.7% were. So we can conclude that respondents' awareness of the consumption and expense is high. Okay, next is the last data for this section. So this table is show the information about respondent action to reduce their electricity consumption. So we can see that 46.7% of respondents indicated they will turn off the light and electric when not in use, and 30% of respondents say this is save electricity by only using aircons at night and testing the use of electronic equipment. And then 13.3% of respondents use the renewable energy, such as for solar panel and lighting. And then like 3 respondents, they are doing nothing to their electricity consumption. And then the last is one respondent, they use the fire-rated rating energy efficient electronic equipment. So it concluded that only 1% of respondents did not use saving energy measured, and 99% of the overall respondents are aware of their necessity of energy efficient and put it into practice. Next is for the application of the energy efficient and renewable energy. So the figure on the left show the system and the technology is available in the respondent house to save electricity consumption. So we can see that the mean for LED lighting is 0.57, was the greatest of all among the equipment, while the mean for the solar lighting is 0.03 and motion sensor is 0.07 were the lowest. And then they have the smart power board has mean of 0.1. So like finally is 26.7% of respondents has solar panel installed in their home. So the figure on the right, so the figure on the right show respondent future consideration in using renewable energy system. So we can see 53.3% of respondents consider using RE technology and strategy because it's cost efficient, save electricity consumption, and inconvenient for daily work. But at the same time, they have second thought because it's too expensive for them. And then 40% of the respondents plan to use it because they wanted to lower their bill and be environmental friendly. And like the in comparison is 6.7 of respondents did not intend to use it without justification. Okay, the last one is observation data. So the table show the temperature of 3 different residential buildings in Taman Angsa and Taman Kasawari on weekday and weekends. So disaster show that house A has the highest mean room temperature with 32 degrees Celsius on Sunday and 29.7 degrees Celsius on Monday, while the house C has the lowest mean room temperature for both days with 27.7 degrees Celsius on Sunday and the lowest and 39 degrees Celsius on Monday. So the following table, we can see the mean outdoor temperature for house A and house B on Sunday was 27.7 degrees Celsius. In contrast to house C, recorded a mean temperature of 26.3 degrees Celsius. So the result from house C with solar panel installed indicate a drop 4.7 degrees Celsius for the mean temperature of the rental area, which is 31 degrees Celsius. Confirm the Al-Asadi claim that the solar panel prevent heat from being absorbed by the roof, limiting the amount of heat treated. And then is the reduced amount of heat reduce the amount of cooling necessary, assisting in reduction of the energy consumption.
Ms. Noratika, you have another 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes to finish your presentation.
I know.
5 minutes remaining.
So the conclusion is the uses of renewable energy and system used to the residential building, particularly the solar panel system, demonstrate the people of Malacca suburban understanding of the need of energy efficient technique. The results show that solar panels reduce excess heat generated by cooling load demand by prevent heat from being absorbed by roof. A solar panel system is highly suggested as part of the future role in the measure to monitoring the expansion of carbon footprint owing to future urban growth, which fit with the Green City Action Plan, which focus on carbon footprint reduction measured in the local locality. So this study future research could be expanded on the broader scale, including the incorporation of the level of awareness and application of energy efficient measures across metropolitan residents, city outskirts, and rural region residents. Due to the size of the restriction implement, the predicted carbon footprint impact can be decreased with the proper implementation and contribution favorable to the environment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nur Atika, Miss Nur Atika. A very good topic indeed to research. I think this is also in the early stage and exploratory stage of your research. Am I right? Okay. You are testing, or you are examining the awareness of the users of populations. Okay. My suggestions. Maybe you can discuss further, or you maybe can explore further, because when you're studying, this is my opinion only. You can discuss further. Yeah. When you're examining of the awareness, the upper level of awareness is the knowledge. Okay. If they don't have knowledge, definitely they don't aware at all. Okay. So you go to the next step to study what is the level of knowledge of the your populations towards what you are going to examine. Okay.
Okay.
For example, the variables in what is that? The energy efficiency strategies, so on and so forth. That's my suggestions only. Anyway, it's up to you to discuss further later. Okay. Any other questions from the floor or point? Okay. If no questions, then thank you very much once again, Nurul Atika.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Our next presenter will be presenting the very interesting topic also, under the sub theme of renewable energy, with the topic of increasing safety in school through solar outdoor lighting applications, a case study of school in Perak Tengah. Please welcome presenters from UiTM Perak, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Asfani Ahmad. Over to you, Dr. Nur Asfani.
Thank you, Dr. Fadil. Can you hear my voice very clear?
Very clearly.
All right, okay. Now I will share my slide. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to our moderators and also to all of our presenters. My name is Nur Asfahani Ahmad. I am from UiTM Perak, and today for my presentation, I'm going to present on my research topic, which is improving safety in schools through solar outdoor lighting application, a case study of school in Perak Tengah. So basically, my research is actually under the KPT FRGS grant from 2019 to 2021. And we actually have 3 case studies related under Perak Tengah. However, for the purpose of today's presentation, I'm only going to present on one of the case study. So this is my content outline for my presentation, whereby I'm going to introduce on the significance of solar energy for Malaysia and solar outdoor lighting application. And then for the second section is literature review, where it will highlight on the solar lighting application for rural school, what are the impact of blackout, and what are the safety aspects that is related to solar lighting application. And then the third one is my research methodology, where I'm going to introduce the community-based approach, where, as I mentioned earlier, I have selected one case study under a rural school in Perak Tengah, whereby I have been obtained an experimental study base. The fourth section is the finding, where I have collected data before and after the installation of solar PV panels based on the irradiance and illumination data. And the last part is on the discussion and the conclusion of these research findings. So before I proceed with my elaboration on my research, I'm going to introduce you on what are the actual reason for me and my team obtaining this research. So for your information, rural schools in Malaysia not only cater on Sabah, not only cater in Sabah and Sarawak, orang asli community, but also rural school for local community such as village in Peninsular Malaysia, whereby has been highlighted by MOE 2020 that almost 65 schools in Malaysia are located at rural and remote area. So from these 65% of population, 25% of these schools have limited access to electricity. Even though we know that we have a stable power supply from TNB, however, the number of external lightings for this school are less than 10 numbers per 10 square meter. And this data is gained from TNB. And from this population, yes, 90% have access to stable electricity from TNB. However, they will be facing issues, especially on blackouts during heavy rain or flood disaster. So when we talk about flood disaster and heavy rain monsoon in Malaysia, we know that we are going to face issues of blackout. And certainly for rural schools, remote schools in Malaysia, these are actually a common issue. Okay, during power blackout, the power was only able to be restored to the building as early as 15 minutes and maybe longer, more than 2 hours. So the issue here is people or rural schools have to wait for the power to be restored back by TNB. And it might occur another issues of safety during nighttime, where usually most of these schools are located near to the forestry or agricultural lands that is quite remote and quite far from the main street. So the location is too dark at night, even with external lightings, it will prolong the issues of safety. And the third one is the power consumption issue. So as we all know, for schools, we have typical electrical appliances such as fans, and then electrical appliances like photocopier machine, PC, and other essential amenities. So within the frequent use of these appliances from 8 a.m. To 12 p.m. in the afternoon, or more than that, for example, 8 hours of school time, it will result high energy consumption, whereby will it also increase the electricity bills. So this actually will burden the fiscal budget for the school's management to have a certain amount to pay the monthly electricity bill. So what are the solution? Most of the researchers have highlighted that one of the best solution, the cost-effective solution, is by providing a solar PV application through solar outdoor lighting, because it is a simple and easy technology to be used, and it's also involve a simple application without any underground wiring. So next. So these are the impact of power blackouts. As we all know, it may disrupt our daily lifestyle. For schools, it will disrupt the learning and teaching activities, where students need to be moved or replaced to a brighter space, such as corridor. And then we might face the danger of electricity shock. As in general, it may disrupt our quality of life, damage the food storage, because we need refrigerators to store our food, and eventually it will affect our psychological mood and mental health. So eventually, the impact of minimum lighting also will focus on the absence of or minimal lighting, which attracts robbery or theft issues, since we all know that in the schools, they have many expensive teaching appliances, such as computer, printers, projectors, and then money from schools collection. So this is why when many studies have proven that with the occurrence of brightness at the external facade of a building, it will increase the safety level and avoid crime. So therefore, it is a wise move to provide additional external lighting through solar outdoor lighting applications. Since we all know that in Malaysia, we have a huge potential in in integrating solar technology from solar energy, because we do have sustained solar energy throughout the year. So there are many types of solar outdoor lighting actually. But for a practical and cost-effective solution for rural schools, namely there are two types, which are roof-mounted technology and pole-mounted technology. So this is another continuity of my literature review, where nowadays new invention in solar panel technologies such as LED and solar battery have made it possible for many rural schools throughout the world to significantly increase safety aspect, eliminate the electricity bills consumption associated with outdoor lighting. And then the best side of solar outdoor lighting is it can provide high quality lighting for more than 3 days, which eventually will provide a good illumination for areas that have limited access to national power grid. All right, so this is my research methodology. We have performed a sequential mixed method approaches, whereby it includes 4 research stages from prelim stage, and then from data collection and data analysis stage, and number 4 is research output stage, where, as I mentioned earlier, I have selected one of the case study in rural Perak, located in Parit, Perak. It is actually a small rural school consisting of only 48 of students, known as Sekolah Rendah Kebangsaan Chopin. And then from this case study, we have obtained an empirical data through site visit, where we have collected a load profile data and illuminance data by using lux meter. And then for the data analysis, we have performed an experimental stage by using illuminance formula to highlight the differences between before and after the installation of solar PV. So this is my case study in Perak, where you can see it's a very simple school, a small school with only one block of building for classes. And then there's one canteen, one post guard, where all of these buildings are facing a large football field. And the sunrise is actually directly from the football field, whereby you can see that the northern area is the right side of the whole area. The sun is come from the east, whereby it's actually direct to the building. So this is a data that we have collected before under community-based approach. Why I call it as a community-based approach project? Because we have obtained through help from the community surrounding of this school, together with the school's teachers and also researcher from UITM, through the process of installation and testing this solar lighting application. As I mentioned earlier, this is a very straightforward research. So we only obtain the types of solar outdoor lighting based on the suitable power watt that can be installed for each of the blocks in this building without calculating the solar energy performance, because it's only will lighten the walkway of this school. So we have 9 sets of 25 watts roof mounted solar panel, and then we have another 6 set of 10 watts roof mounted solar panel, and another 2 sets of 60 watt pole mounted solar panel. So after the installation process, we also have obtained a lux meter data collection where it is being used to measure the luminance level in the case study during nighttime before the installation of this solar PV, and then after the installation of the solar PV to make some comparison analysis on the effectiveness of solar outdoor lighting. As you can see from the table here, it has shown quite a range of radiance from the lighting after the solar PV lighting have been installed from the before process, whereby you can see the school was quite dark. So this is the school after the installation process. From all the solar outdoor lighting and managed to lighten the space, the hallway of the school, a certain part of the school. And from the analysis that we have obtained from a lighting illumination formula, this is the yellow line is the formula U2 equals to E minimum divided by E maximum. So it has been found that from all the data that have been collected from all locations, it has shown that there's a quite increase of illuminance after the installation process within the range of 50% to 80%, which is actually quite good. So this shows that it is important to install the solar outdoor lighting. And this is my last slide, the final output. After this installation of the solar outdoor lighting, it is found that this school managed to improve between 50 to 50% illuminance uniformity ratio around the school. And it has strengthened that by installing this solar lighting system, it provides security and illumination in the needed areas. It's also very cost effective. It is easy to maintain where the school management can maintain by themselves. It also helps to increase the safety level of the rural school all together with the community environment surrounding of that schools. So this is our research achievement whereby this project has actually been published in the magazine, and also we have signed MOU with the PPD. That's all. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Associate Prof. Dr. Noasfani. Very interesting, yet very insightful presentation. Very interesting, actually. Any questions from the floor? Any questions? Okay, by the way, from myself, PM Dr. Noasfani, we understand that the solar in Malaysia is substantially changed and varies throughout the year round, especially in terms of its intensity and the orientation. How you address this in your research, and do you simulate these changes or differences by having the specific tools or systems or anything?
All right. Okay, thank you, Dr. Fadil. To answer that question, actually, for the overall process of my research, as I mentioned earlier, this is actually a FRGS grant research. We actually have used certain simulation for obtaining the solar performance data. We have actually collected the data from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. solar peak hours, and from that data, we will obtain what are the highest irradiance for each localities, for each schools. So for the purpose of this paper, I only show the data related to illuminance reading before and after because it's quite straightforward research. For as you asked before regarding on how we can seek for the orientation, Well, actually, for Malaysia, the orientation of our sun radiation is fixed. It's from morning, from the east and then west. So the orientation is actually 0 degree, which is quite good. So it's very sustained, not like other Western countries where we need to have a specific measuring data. So for Malaysia, what we can do is to identify this orientation of solar from morning to noon by using a tool that we call as a solar globe, where it's actually a tool that can stand at at the field, and then through the shaded of that solar globe tools, we can determine which way that this solar radiation will rise from morning and then till let's say 6 p.m. So these two have been used to answer your question, and then we integrate it with the simulation, the solar simulation, and afterwards it's just for compromising the data whether it is the best to put that solar panel on that building based on these solar globe tools. Am I answering your question?
Yes, yes, indeed,
Okay.
indeed. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions from the floor, please? Okay, no problem. If you are hesitate to ask your questions here, please directly contact Dr. Nosfani or any other presenters with respective topics after the session. No problem. Okay. With that, thank you very much, Dr. Nosfani.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Now we go to the next uh, next presenter from IEGRESAFE, am I right? Dr. Suryani Ramli with a paper entitled Empowering Future Generations with Renewable Solar Energy. Over to you, Doctor. Please. Dr. Suryana. Are you here, Doctor? She's wasn't here. She's wasn't here. Wasn't here. Okay, never mind. We go to the next presenter. Dr. Suryana is not around. We go to the final or the last presenters. She's from University of Jemara, Perak as well. She's going to present the paper with the title of barriers to the implementations of solar PV technology for tourism industry in Malaysia. Miss Nur Hidayah Samsurijal, the floor is yours. Miss Nur Hidayah? Organizer, Miss Nur Hidayah, is she's here?
Not in the participants list. I'm not sure.
Nur Hidayah Samsurijal. She's in the list. She's in the list.
She's in the list, in the presentation list, but in the participant
The
list,
final
she's
one.
not here.
Presenter 14. She wasn't here? Let me see. No. she's not here. We can organizer can anyone can contact.
Yeah, let me check first in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Dr. Suryana still in the room too.
Dr. Suryana has more than one paper. More than one paper.
Yes. She presenting in room 2 right now.
Okay, okay, never mind. We go for Miss Nur Hidayah first. Okay, Miss
Assalamualaikum,
Nur Hidayah.
Doctor.
Miss-
Sorry.
Yeah,
Wait.
okay. Miss Nur Hidayah.
Doctor, can I
Samsudin
hear
here.
you? What?
Miss Nur Hidayah Samsurija is already here. Okay, she will be presenting a paper entitled Barriers to Implementations of Solar PV Technology for Tourism Industry in Malaysia. Over to you, Miss Hidayah. Are you hear me? How about others?
Hello? Can you
Hello?
hear me, Doctor?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Because I
Okay.
cannot hear you.
Okay, clear. Okay.
Can?
Yeah,
Assalamualaikum.
we can hear you
Yes,
clearly.
your mic
Ah, okay,
work.
okay.
Okay, your mic work clearly. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Doctor, I'm late because I have meeting today. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. Thank you for our moderator, Dr. Fadil. Sorry for taking your time for a while. Okay, I am Nur Hidayah Samsurija from Department of Built Environment Studies and Technology, Faculty of Architecture, Planning and Surveying, UiTM Perak branch. Today, I would like to share I want to share. Hey, okay. I want to share the file. Sorry. Let's- So, I'm trying to open the presentation for a while. Sorry for the, this can be the this. Okay. You see the file, Doctor? Doctor, do you see the file?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, today I would like to share about my study with the title of Barriers to the Implementation of Solar Photovoltaic PV Technology for Tourism Industry in Malaysia. In this presentation, we will identify the true picture of obstacle faced by tourism industry stakeholders in the implementation of this solar technology in the tourism industry. As you can see here, this presentation outline will begin with the introduction, followed with the issue related with the study, research methodology, finding, discussion, and conclusion. Sorry, this is my introduction, the background to the study. Okay, this study discussed the barriers and limitations experienced by tourism industry stakeholders to implement solar photovoltaic PV technology to form a sustainable tourism industry in Malaysia. But why this issue needs to be studied? It is because in Malaysia, the tourism industry is a sector that contributes high energy consumption in providing the greatest services and comfort to visitors. Demand for fossil fuel in Malaysia is increasing due to the rapid development in the industrial and tourism sectors. To fulfill rising conventional energy demand, the global energy sector has begun to shift its focus to renewable energy. Solar PV is seen as one of the alternatives to replace conventional energy in electricity generation, as well as alternative in empowering green technology for the sake of environmental well-being. However, this technology is not yet widely used, especially in the tourism sector in Malaysia. Malaysia should be able to generate electricity based on sunlight sources as we are endowed with an equatorial climate which is hot and humid all year round. So this study will help to give a true picture of the obstacle faced by tourism industry stakeholders in the implementation of this solar technology in the tourism industry in Malaysia. So here's the issue I prepared to be discussed. Renewable energy is not something new in Malaysia. However, we still entirely reliant on fossil fuel sources such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas for energy generation, especially in business and industry. Since the country border will open in April 1, 2022, we will witness the growth and vibrancy of Malaysia tourism industry. With the rising presence of international tourists day by day, the country tourism sector will definitely experience increased demand for power consumption. Malaysia's need for fossil fuel is rising due to fast development in industrial and tourism sector. Energy will if the industry completely reliant on fossil fuel for electricity generation. We might face the fossil fuel depletion problem and will jeopardize the consistency of the supply. The excessive use of natural sources, the growth of tourism facilities, and the large number of visitor arrival also has the potential to harm the environment. Solar PV is one of the renewable energy alternatives has the ability to generate electricity while minimizing the need of traditional sources. Although Malaysia is located on the equator and it's the most suitable area to adapt to the use of solar. Unfortunately, we are sadly still far behind and have not mastered this technology compared to other Asian countries. So why this technology is not yet widely used in the industrial sector and what barriers and challenges for implementing. So this is the research methodology I prepared. Okay, the descriptive research approach was used since the goal of the study is to identify impediments to implement solar photovoltaic PV technology, literature review, questionnaire, and structured interview survey have conducted as a method of data collection. Evaluation adds to the outline procedure for enhancing the evidence foundation for energy policy through Scopus and Science Direct. This database includes over 50 records of published research in the discipline of solar PV technology and its barriers and challenges. For the finding of my data presentation, this is for the literature. The variable has been identified as the barrier of solar PV implementation derived through the literature review as shown in the table 1, such as cost and financing, awareness and knowledge, act and regulation, area and space, and the last one is the barriers resolved based on a questionnaire. A total of 200 questionnaires were distributed, but only 170 responses received, which represent 85%. A questionnaire were distributed to employees working at medium-scale tourism areas in Malaysia. This questionnaire will measure the barriers of solar implementation at tourism industry in Malaysia by using 5 final variables which identified through the literature review. The finding, majority of the national which with highest percentage given to 70.6%, followed by awareness and knowledge factor with 50%. The third barrier which include in the result is area and space with 47%, and regulation factor at the review was carried out. 5 qualified who are selected based on their position and expertise in solar industry, a greater knowledge and comprehension of solar PV technology, and its limitation result from the interview session with these competent medium and large scale hotels do not utilize solar battery due to high purchasing. servicing and maintenance expenses. As a result, solar generated during peak hours from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. is not extensively used due to low demand at the time. Visitors engage outdoor activities during the time. Typically, excessive power usage occurs at night because hotel guests utilize electrical appliances. However, all of them agree cost is the main barriers to this. Are now constrained by land availability. Installation of these panels needs as well as well known in order to generate power in tourist region. As a result, installing solar panel is challenging and nearly impossible due to issue of limited open area. That space contribute to the reduction in solar PV use. Government support and help are obviously needed as the backbone of this large-scale solar user in terms of financial area and so on. The barriers chosen by the respondent is identified through the interview session as illustrated in Table 3. So that's a conclusion. So this conclusion for my presentation is solar PV is a renewable energy source, has the potential to reduce the combustion of fossil fuel in the power generation. Furthermore, due to its location on the equator, Malaysia is capable to generate more power generation. But however, still, until now, this technique is still not widely used. This is only a few areas use this kind of technology. The study findings found various impediments to the deployment of solar PV in tourism industry. High pricing as well as lack of understanding and awareness of solar PV technology are made is almost impossible for customers. And last one is solar PV should be implemented widely in Malaysia, whether it's a small or big area, as it will help to reduce the traditional electrical usage. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Noridaya. Very interesting topic.
Thank you.
Solar energy. But my inquiries is okay. Before that, I open for questions from the floor. Any questions? If anyone here have a questions, please post a question here. No questions? Okay, no questions. Then questions from me myself. Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, Ms. Hidayah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You see the issue as what the issue for implementing or adopting the PV technology in a very big tourism industry.
Yeah.
But as for me, as a layman,
Mhm.
and as a user
Yes.
for this type of facilities, I think the main or the greater issues here is actually is not the tourism industry at large. It's more specific to the recreational facilities. Recreational facilities normally located in the remote area. In the remote area which is don't have access to the main grid or main grid supply of energy from the TMB and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the issue. What say you?
Okay, for me, because this topic is actually for the tourism industry, so I just make some inspection and some study for the tourism industry. But I agree with you, Doctor. For the area that actually don't have the electricity, such as like a small area and like you said, it's actually is very this technology is very useful for them actually, but maybe some of the barriers and challenges may faced by them. Maybe it's because some of the challenges that cannot be catered for, they are using this kind of technology, I think.
Yeah. Because the trend of Malaysians right now, they like to have the outdoor activities in the remote area, in the place like uh, rural area in Gunung Tahan,
Yes,
in the place that don't have access to the supply of electricity,
yes.
don't have not connected to the main grids of the supply. Don't
Mm-hmm.
have even the generators set itself. For example, in Gunung Tahan, there's no supply over there. Maybe the PV solar technology can be applied or can be used
Implement.
at
Yes,
this kind of pulau-pulau, the islands around
very
Malaysia.
interesting. That's interesting, Doctor. Maybe I should do for my PhD as
Yeah,
well.
rather than in
Tourism.
Langkawi, Labuan, in Pulau Tioman.
Yeah,
Uh,
because for me this topic, because of my five selected interviewer, they say cannot be done because they don't use the battery for the this type of tourism sector. That's why they don't use this technology, because they don't have
don't
enough
take me
money to.
wrong. Don't take
Yeah.
me wrong. Hidayah, I'm
Yeah.
not critics your topic,
No,
but
no,
I
no,
want
I'm
to
not.
hear your point of view on this.
Yeah, but as I also think that, like Pula, like you said, it's an interesting topic that can be done, uh, because we miss that kind of area for this type of technology. We just focus on the tourism and so on. So I think this is a very nice topic to do, and
Yes, yes, indeed.
maybe I will do my research or my study on this kind of area. So what will I have for my that I can do for my PhD? I think so, because I'm very interested in for the solar energy study. So thank you,
Yeah,
doctor, for that uh,
yes,
for
very
that
very
view.
good topic to explore. Very good topic to
Yes,
explore
yes,
and
I
very
think so.
interesting too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Hidayah, for your presentation.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah,
Thank you,
excellent.
doctor. Sorry
Okay.
for the late. I'm sorry for the late.
All right. Thank you. No problem. Any other questions? And I believe no other questions because we only have 10 participants here in this group, besides the organizers, myself, and the one that have been presented. So now we're waiting for Dr. Suryana. Are you ready, Dr. Suryana? Please welcome
Yes,
Dr. Suryana. Yeah,
sorry,
with the
doctor, because
paper.
I'm presenting another paper in room 2.
Yes, I understand. I
More or
understand.
less the same time.
Yes,
So
I understand. No problem. No problem. Please, Dr. Suryana, with your paper, empowering future generations with renewable solar energy. Dr. Suryana Ramli from AAGBS. Am I right?
yes,
Okay, please,
doctor.
Doctor. Over to you.
Okay. Alright, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all. Let me share my slide. Yeah. So our study, this one I do this study with my students in the change management class. Our approach is to look. It's actually a conceptual paper. Everyone is more on the looking at how we can implement, how to get more awareness on that particular solar energy. Similar with the just now the presenter. So the title of the research. The study is empowering future generation with renewable solar energy. So there are 4 of us here with Alia, Muhammad Faru, and also Maisara presenting on their behalf since they are not available. So there are 6 topics we discuss. We will presented today. We start with introduction, problem statement, then we follow with literature review and a proposed framework and how we can propose implementation, how we can do it, and of course discussion and conclusion. So first of all, the background. There are a lot of issues in terms of environment, due to climate change, is something that people around the world are looking into it very seriously. Yeah, to address this particular issue. Yeah. We see a lot of natural disasters and a lot of things coming, climate change, which is unavoidable. So looking into a safe energy, green technology, renewable energy, in especially in transport area, particularly the focus of study on that particular area, something that should be being concentrating by the government, also by the researcher, and also by the society as well. Yeah. So our government, Malaysian government, have announced 100% of elimination of taxes on electronic vehicle in Malaysia. Yeah, this is to align with 12 Malaysian plan in order to achieve a carbon neutrality, zero carbon emission by the year 2050. Yeah, so there are actually elimination of taxes on electronic vehicle. Yeah. There's actually under the government strategic plan a new policy to accelerate the development of electronic vehicle industry in Malaysia. Yeah, so Malaysia currently still very highly dependent on traditional electricity, which relies heavily on fossil fuels. Yeah, therefore development of solar and renewable energy still not as what as expected. Yeah, there are a lot of things can be done in terms of providing infrastructures for the solar energies, and also to then only the use of electric cars will be accelerated accordingly. Yeah. So next, after the studies, we find that the problem is Malaysia depends on, of course, non-renewable energy resources, and we find that our transportation industry still rely on fossil fuels, which is a highest contribution to the carbon emissions. We find also why these things happen is lack of infrastructure for our electric vehicle. Therefore, despite of the elimination of the tax, still not many people actually embark on the or buy the electric vehicles. The use of electric vehicle in Malaysia is still very, very low. And maybe last is lack of awareness of our own society, in particular among household, how to make the solar PV, to keep pace with the market expansion. Still low acceptance in the public level. So next, so the objective is for this study, we want to develop expand use of renewable energy, to boost the electric vehicles and to achieve the target carbon neutral by 2050. So basically, this particular presentation today is to propose a framework on how we can accelerate this particular initiative in terms of implementation. Yeah. For the literature review, renewable energy seen as potential solution, can be one of the only solution to replace the fossil fuel. As furthermore, the fossil fuel are depleted from around the world, and also the issue of global warming, caused by greenhouse gas emission. This one is studied by K. Solagi. The Malaysian government therefore, based on all these particular issues that happen in around the world, the Malaysian government identified solar as one of the most potential renewable energy. This one also reported by Saripuden and the colleague in 2022. Solar can be one of the most potential renewable energy, especially in Malaysia. Our area, our climate is actually very suitable to accelerate the use of solar energy. It is predicted the world fossil fuel resource to be 4 times the world fossil fuel resources in Malaysia. So solar is one of the answer for the issues climate change issue in the world. So government energy policy, one thing as presented early in the morning as well, government policy is quite comprehensive in Malaysia. A lot of initiative done by the government has made global warming as a priority of its social and economic program. Since 2010. It's also incorporated in the 12th Malaysian Plan for the year 2021 to 2025, and a lot of initiative, incentive until the end of 23 being introduced by the government. And government also launched the net energy metering program, to further accelerate the government energy policies. So in that particular areas, comprehensive initiative done by the government. So in terms of house developer and solar energy companies, Malaysia has a qualification known as the Green Building Index. This one to encourage all the developers in Malaysia to actually to adopt this in a policy to initiative. So in the housing area, the future development housing area or commercial building to submit rooftop solar. I think now quite frequent. A lot of people, a lot of the companies, Solar West, all that involved in the housing residential solar energy, can also by introducing the how we can implement this, and also the EV adoption and charging infrastructure. Electric would be a product that is expected to help reduce pollution. Malaysian current adoption rate is still quite low in terms of EV charging because the infrastructure is not there. Is the pricing also. The price, the cost of even buying the EV electric car is also quite high. So still it's not very easy for us to implement in Malaysia. So from this particular outcome, what we're proposing, we're adopting from Ali. There are three important involvement. The government, the private sectors, involved in solar business, and the society, and also the house developer to come up with a concerted effort to accelerate the solar renewable energy in Malaysia, to encourage the electric vehicle industry in Malaysia. How government can help in terms of incentive, policies and supports. In terms of incentive, there are many done by the government. Just that maybe it's not very attractive to the public, to adopt this, to use the solar energy. The policy-wise, we see a lot of policies are being implemented by the government in terms of the support, awareness program. Maybe we can start from the school, from the young, to introduce them the possibility of the solar energy. In terms of private sectors, involved in solar business, talking about innovation, there are a lot of nowadays, in fact, many universities and also the many companies are into come up with the more user-friendly, cost-effective infrastructure that they can install in the house, so that they can use, and knowledge and skill required for that. And society, public awareness and motivation by government is very critical. If society are aware that's the advantage of using the solar energy and their involvement, if they committed in this initiative, we can help also the environment. So the awareness need to be further increased. The motivation by the government in terms of a lot of initiative done, and engagement, might improve the solar energy adoption in Malaysia. House developer, for example, to give the infrastructure and how to get to make it easier for all the developers, for the house owner to actually adopt the solar energy, by giving all the necessary infrastructure. Right. How we can do this? This one just to show how the solar system working. PV system is made number of panels. For example, here this is the example of the panels that connected series to generate the required electricity from the sun. The amount of electricity generated by PV system is determined by solar irradiation, environment temperature, and direction of the sun in the sky. You can see from this example. So solar conversion efficiency are the input sectors for management data sheet. So this is the things. Therefore, it's more convenient and efficient to install a sun tracking system to collect as much solar radiation as possible, which is installing the one or dual axis tracker. As a result, energy yield can be enhanced by roughly 20% to 30%. This is some sample, what we can do. It's not something that we're proposing. We're looking into the implementation area. So this the grid, how it can work in the housing area. This example, the grid connected PV system. The PV area comprised of PV array. That converts sunlight into direct DC power. Battery system as backup store. And energy bidirectional inverter and smart meter, current bus system, and alternating current system. All these actually are functional and how it can be installed in the housing area. When the electricity generated by the PV panels more than electricity required by this consumer, by directional interface into the system, allow the electricity generated by PV panels to supply the load directly connected to AC bus system and transmit the excess energy to the grid, the power grid. This grid connected PV system ensure the consumer is never without the electricity. This is something already existed, in the industry. It's there already. Just to get the participants some ideas on what is it. So what we proposing here and how we can install in the government, in how to limit all this. Solar part in every house. This the purpose of this study, and that with the concerted effort from the government, house developer and business to put solar in every house, and then there will be a central solar power storage in every housing area. That's one commitment from the house developer. And then from there, when they have solar power storage in the housing area, then we will accelerate the use of car EV chargers. And also house resident can use the electric solar power. So it will be easier for the implementation part. So discussion, society with that, we propose that society will have sustainable solar energy and will be eventually reduction on fossil fuel. In terms of government, speed the process to implement in order to achieve the 12 Nation Plan in 2050, and also for solar energy industry, concept enhanced project and set benchmark to other companies. And of course, there's a lot of potential in solar energy because with that they can generate a lot of revenues for their company. With that, conclude this paper should remain essential part in economic development in Malaysia, so that it will be more people adopt to this solar power, solar energy. There will be accelerated the use of electric car in Malaysia. I think that's will be all, Dr. Fazil, for study from my student. I'm presenting on behalf of them. So my knowledge on the solar might be lacking, since they are not available. They already complete the study. So I'm presenting on their behalf. Okay, so last but not least, we are like tenant farmers chopping down the fence around our house for fuel when we should be using nature as housable sources of energy, sun, wind, and tide. I put my money on the sun and solar energy. What a source of power. I hope we don't have to wait until oil and coal run out before we tackle that. This one by Thomas Alva Edison since 1931. So still, until we are in the year 2022, we're still struggling on how to best to implement this amazing vast power, solar power, so that we can save the environment, to encourage the use of green energy. Okay, with that, I end the presentation. Dr. Fazil.
Very good presentation, very interesting. Lots of new things for me, Dr. Suriana, Dr. Su.
Yeah,
Lots
Dr.
of things I learned today. Any questions before that, Doctor? I open for questions from the floor. Any questions?
Can I ask a question, Dr. Su?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I can, please.
I wanted to ask a question, but that you said that this is your students' work.
Yeah, we work together. It's actually part of change management class. So I asked them what they like, how can accelerate implementation. So they come up with this. I said, this is quite interesting. So happen the IEGRESAFE actually have conference. I thought, why don't we share this to create more awareness in this particular area. That's how we start.
Okay, so I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood the meaning of circular economy. What I see that in the flow that you showed just now, kan ada last part tu you just stop tadi Dr. tunjuk stop dekat house saja. Whereas one part of my study is also on solar, and I see that you can also continue that the other end tu kan, we have a problem in the currently with the solar yang dah pasang and then they obsolete. So what happens to that solar? Satu, there is another economy that you can look into how to I don't know, recycle ke ataupun solar-solar yang dah lama tu kan yang tak boleh nak ni, because there's an issue of a hazard of the material tu and how that can contribute towards another economy created, because banyak orang yang doing the solar especially kat Malaysia ni they still don't know how and what are the government policy on that.
I mean, I think there will be interesting things further to that for the part of circular economy, the wastage on how we can actually utilize all that. I think that will be something that we can consider. I will share with them, if they want to concentrate to pursue their PhD or DBA in the particular area. Something that will be interesting. I think when we do this together and explore this, I think there's a lot of opportunity in solar economy. Although the technology is there, honestly, I mean many, when we start reading on this, there's so many, but then the awareness in terms of public, the acceptance, or maybe the how to start, how make it easier to start. So there's still a lot of opportunity in that particular area. This the way I see.
Okay,
So you are
that's my question.
doing your study in solar,
One part of it is solar lah sedikit because I'm doing more on smart grid and residential sector. So tadi doktor tunjuk empat ada smart meter kan, and then to the grid. So my focus also on the residential house juga.
Yeah,
But how
I think
maybe we can work together in the future, doctor.
Yeah, maybe my part on the management part, on sometimes when sometimes there are a lot of creator, but then what's next? So that the thing can be further implemented. How can the change can be done? All that will be interesting.
Inshallah.
Okay.
You are with AAGB, sorry, Asyad Ayub, is it?
Asyad Ayub, a graduate business school.
Oh, okay. Senang nak cari nanti, insyaAllah.
Google je, we can connect it.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Su.
Okay, sama Cik Ahmad.
Okay, you may change phone number afterwards. May exchange phone number afterwards. Change contact number afterwards. Okay, another things, Dr. Surana. Very interesting actually. But for me myself, we want to see. We understand that our country has a master plan about the green, sustainable, whatsoever. But in specific about EV now become, one of the very big industry in the world. The Tesla making money, but very little people effort to buy Tesla, 500,000 or more. So do we have a Malaysia in specific for any policy or blueprint on what going to achieve by specific year about the EV? You came across with that?
I think, in fact, I cannot remember correctly when we did do some discussion on this. I think maybe in the write-up there is actually the initiative or plan towards it. Just that no, because we done it in June. I think in the paper there is Dr. Fazil, the plan on how we can achieve it. But sometimes the issues is when we do for the study, that's why we come up with the infrastructure on okay, after they buy the car, what's next? So the idea with the team is okay, by that we should have solar power or solar like a petrol station kind of things in every identified housing area. Then we will accelerate. Sometimes there are about top 5% of our society, they have the concern about this, and they have the means to buy the electric car, but it's not very convenient for them to in terms of rechargeable battery. So it's not very in every area. So in the blueprint, I have to something to really look at. Maybe you can work with Ahmad later. is there any way infrastructure to ensure that people can access the rechargeable battery for all the electric cars? I think if that is addressed in the blueprint, this one I need to check again. I'm sorry, Dr. Fazet. Tapi I believe that when we do it, there is by year 2050, I'm not mistaken, adoption on the energy EV solar for electronic car. I think the first the first page of the presentation by 2050. We hope we want to can. That's why we government introduced no tax for the electric cars on in order to accelerate the achievement on by 2050. But then the infrastructure need to be built as well, so to achieve that particular plan.
Yeah, because the range of the EV, the maximum is 600 like that, 600 kilometers. But Chinese extensively producing a cheap electric vehicles, which is range only like 200, 250 kilometers, which is need a lot of charging station. And besides that, doctor, the cost of charging is some people said, I don't know, some people said much more expensive than petrol. It's not safe at all. So
Still
the
very costly. Satu is not
very
accessible.
costly.
One thing is costly. Even the car also is very costly. But
absolutely.
very interesting question, Dr. Fazil. Is it any blueprint to actually a cooperation with Proto sample to actually collaborate with this those yang very advanced in this area, for example Tesla, to come up with cheaper version of, or maybe something that version that affordable to more people? That will be a very good area or to go with in terms of helping Malaysia to accelerate in this matter.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. Any other questions
Thank you,
from
Dr.
the floor?
Fazil.
Any other questions? We open? Any other questions? Okay. If no other questions, thank you very much, Dr. Suryani, for your very insightful informations and presentations today. Well done. Thank you very much. And with that, I think we come to the end of the sessions. I take this opportunity to thank to all presenters and for attending these sessions. If you have any additional questions for presenters, you may contact them respectively personally. Okay, enjoy the rest of the first International E-Conference on Green and Safe Cities, IEGRESAFE. Cheers. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.